No.
We're back.
Ladies and gentlemen, roosters and hens and everything else in between, Cock Talk is back. And Josh, I hope that was all in there, but it's probably not. But as always, from the Coop Collective, I am Tyler at MBF Express. We have Josh, who is tired and has driven 16 hours of the last 24 at Grateful Coops. Man with the theories, who will have plenty tonight. Blake at Waddle Waddle Racing, and Dad at Pecking Order Racing at the bottom right left. As always, gentlemen, how we doing?
Doing good, Josh. Hey, if you just want to go take a nap and just leave it like this, I think we'll make it. Just go take a nap.
Yeah.
We don't need you.
Look at your beautiful logo.
I got to drive.
Okay.
Just got all these.
Just wake up on a Monday.
You can't drive anymore. You've driven too much.
I think there's a limit to how much you're supposed to sleep if you're driving.
Right.
If you were a truck driver, you'd be cut off already.
Cut off, yeah.
It's true. They only allowed 12 hours.
Something, I don't know the rules, but they're
10 to 12 max.
You should get a different job, Josh.
I know. I'm actually looking.
Hey, hopefully they're not watching that. Monday, the Monday, as I believe it is tomorrow. Tempered expectations. Obviously, they're going to roll out talents a little bit as a staggered soft launch. Totally understandable. I'm fine with it. But regardless, this is the day we've all been waiting for. Sick headband. Thank you, Lemon Amnesia. I'm bringing the the color that Josh refuses to bring tonight, and that's fine.
This is how I feel, Tyler.
That is how I feel. I'm in a good mood tonight.
Yeah. See, when I'm wearing the tie-dye and the fun shirts, I'm in a good mood. When I got the gray doll on,
we got Grumpy
raining
Josh
and cloudy, and cue the emo music.
Grumpy Josh tonight.
But it's talents tomorrow. You can't.
I know.
But it's talents tomorrow. We'll be happy tomorrow.
He'll wake
Talent
up
Eve.
Call me
Helen Eve. Yes.
McDuck.
This is in fact what we were waiting for since the beginning, guys.
Yeah, it's a big day.
It is.
I'm wondering. So it's interesting that they didn't clear all the races. I'll say that, because what happens? Are those races that are about to go off going to have talents?
But
or
why
are they
does
going to?
So here's the thing. Here's how I assume it happens: is there's nothing involved with anything until the race fills, and then it launches through the code. So it all depends on what code is set up at the point of
that makes sense
where it goes through the system.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, or they'll be pushing out a batch of races that are set with the talents included in them, and the ongoing automatic race generation won't have anything to do with that. Also could be possible with this being like a mini session, kind of like early beta was. But I mean, it's also possible they empty the races out tomorrow and it takes most of the day. We've seen that before.
I was thinking about this too, because I think the most curious thing to me is how many times a bird podiums when their talent goes off. Are we going to see more of that, or are we going to see other birds that maybe get a boost by, just not being maybe their defensive traits or what? We don't. Again, we've been speculating that a long time, but maybe they don't get hit.
When you bulldoze, you don't say you're bulldozing.
You just do. Just doze.
I mean, I can tell you how to do it. You just talk.
No, sir. You don't tell me how to bulldoze.
Please, sir.
I will announce when I bulldoze.
Josh has a beep, beep, beep.
I'm going to hammer in on the dev blog quick, so we can just hammer through this, and then we can just get right into talents, because there's quite a few animation. We're gonna go through each talent. We're gonna go through each animation, and we're gonna wear the hell out of a bunch of tinfoil. So let's just ram through the dev blog this week, which was very exciting, as talents will be launched this Monday, the 27th of June, available to all on chickenderby.com. May as well open with that, since we know that is what you wanted to hear. The devs have been working their hardest to get them ready in the time, and they are ready. There are still a couple of graphical issues that you might notice, but we are 95% happy with them. Some extra polish and tweaks will be added with time, but these changes will have minimal effect on how the talents affect race results and are mostly visual only. Think about that line right there. Mostly visual only. Thoughts?
Well,
that's good. Don't go live if the math is still in flux. You can make them look prettier and more fun.
Well, hold on. What they're saying is the extra tweaks. Yes. All right. The extra, anything that they're going to have to do in the future is not going to change the outcome of the races. However, that tells me that these batches are going to change the outcome of the races, right? The initial launch is going to be
as I read that, some extra polish and tweaks will be added with time, but these changes will have minimal effect. They're talking about the extra polish and the tweaks. Yes. I do believe what we see tomorrow when they show up will be the full algorithm.
Well, the data, right? Yeah. So this is going to be the full. I think this is the first time we're actually getting full race data, if that makes sense, with everything implemented.
It sure seems like it. And I mean, they're going to have to tweak that and see how that works. And that's going to take some time, but it sure seems to me that's what they're saying here.
I still think, though, that our original data that we have up to this point is going to hold some. I don't want to say, I think it's going to benefit us to have the data that we have up to this point, because again, I still think your strong tracks and distance and terrain that you're good at, I think you're still going to have an advantage of those. You pair that with a good talent, and then you should have an even better advantage of those.
Yeah, this was a go ahead, finish up.
Well, if somebody only has like a common talent, I still think that they're going to run them on their preferred distance and terrain, right? Doesn't that make sense? I don't.
Dave, are you gearing up there before I roll, or?
No, I was just making fun of you for bulldozing.
Thank you.
We need a bulldozer.
Excellent use of the visual cue there, Dave.
We need a bulldozer sound effect.
It's a tiny
Josh,
bulldozer.
Do you have one of those? Like a beep, 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 like a backing up truck or something?
Oh, now he's backing over us?
I got crickets. No. No, so, I thought I wanted to go ahead, finish. I just wanted to hear the thoughts on that for first paragraph, because there's some things there that I feel like some people can read and get a little misconstrued on.
No, it's fine. You know what? Let's just keep rolling through this, and I'm sure it'll come back up. Go ahead, Josh.
So they are very excited that they can finally bring talents to us. That first trailer, which we launched back on June 8th of last year, is what got a lot of people excited about Chicken Derby in the first place, and he ain't lying. That's what got me in. It's watching that video, I was like, this is the future. It's been a long road getting here, full of sweat, joy, and tears, but we are here now, only one weekend away from having anvil chucking, car driving, rocket shooting, spell casting, teleporting chickens, and Rudy Poo candy asses holding up in the rear. I feel like that was like that reminds me of a Ric Flair.
They channeled The Rock and the Ric Flair together on that one, like with the Rudy Poo and whatnot. Yeah.
I added Rudy Poo.
Okay, you channeled it. I was gonna say I don't think he said that, but
yeah.
Reed, I was like, where's he at?
No, but the whole only one weekend away from having anvil chucking. It's like limousine riding, airplane, jet plane. Yeah,
nailed it. You nailed it.
No, I'm terrible at.
Just go woo and move on.
So we're going to hit this talent video, most recent. It's got the black hole, finally. And I want to get everyone's thoughts on this. So we'll watch this first one that has all of the talents included, and then we'll watch the
while we're watching this
of black hole on its own.
Yeah, I cut it up, so it's a quick little 14-second, and I've just watched that 14-second clip like 25 times over and over again.
While we're watching this too, we've had speculations that was it that Alien Eyes had some defense to black hole? I think we're gonna find these out. We should find these out tomorrow, right?
On this, that's funny you say that, because I asked the question. I asked Deli, I don't remember what day it was, but it was, as you see flight taking off there, will the traits of chickens like robot, black, alien, all that stuff get updated with what they will do in the tutorial? And the answer that I got was, when you discover them,
when the community
add them, and the community knows.
So that was the answer to that.
Then
when the community discovers them as a whole, they'll add them in there.
So let me say
this, which has caused a bit of a shitstorm in the main tonight. But
yeah,
if I know it to be true, why isn't it in the tutorial?
So who knows? Anyway, go ahead.
All right, so I think go ahead, keep going.
But tomorrow, I think, is going to answer a lot of questions we have, because but to me, is that theory of alien, because once black hole goes off, all these birds get sucked in. If a bird has alien eyes and it's the only one that doesn't get sucked into the vortex, right?
So
then it's going to be
black
pretty
hole's
damn
coming.
obvious.
Instantaneously, yeah.
Yes, if
Yeah,
it's
black hole
blatant.
seconds away here, yeah.
Like if bullets bounce off robots,
Yeah,
it will be
it's gonna be
blatant.
pretty damn obvious. Yeah.
Or if
Here
like,
it comes, black hole, and it sucks every bird in. The only thing I don't know about, does it throw them right back where they were? I mean, yeah, you get a good 10 to 15 meter boost there.
I don't know. Rewind it.
I watched this a bunch of times.
We'll watch the cut up one here in a minute.
I've screenshot it and looked. By and large, they do land in similar spots. It's not exactly,
here's
similar spots.
Can they mix it up?
That's a good question.
Jumble it all up.
That's
like the first place birds, all of a sudden he's in sixth place. And
And
I'd love to see that.
But here is something that's super important as well. In this regard, this field that we see here, you have the leader and the back where the black hole goes off about 15 meters apart. So a lot of these races are way closer. The majority of them are all on the screen all the time. So when that black hole goes off, it's like at this moment, it's a little like 12 to 6. That's kind of upsetting. We kind of wanted these things to look like, not auto wins, but damn close. But if they're all together, like I took a screenshot of all of them basically lined up, like Dave said, in their packs as they set up, front, middle, back, but everything's on the screen. If then the black hole goes off, you could see a substantial lead from the person with the black hole. So these talents are going to matter.
This thing come off and it's okay. 40 meters, they're all sucked in.
But I was going to say
trucking, and he gets
and
about 15 meters before birds start hitting the track again.
And when they land, they kind of, there's a second where they're kind of gathering themselves, and it's not instantaneous. So yeah.
Wait, which bird threw that off? That's not one of the final three, is it?
No, it was in the back.
It wasn't. He finishes 5th or 6th in the race, but he was
doing
so bad when it went off.
So that's kind of my point to the original question I was having. How are we going to grade? Because to me, that talent benefited the other birds, right? How are we going to judge and say, okay, whatever, this got a bonus because his talent went off? Well, yeah, but did it win? Did that cause you to go from a 6 distance in terrain?
Well, think about it. If the birds were bunched up rather than they're really spread out. I mean, we saw a cougar go off. We had a dig go off where that bird got out in front.
I'm doing a bad job of explaining it.
Well, no, I guess here's what I can add to that. Something that I think is kind of worth throwing out there in this regard. I just lost it. I was doing way too much prefacing.
I'll pick up where I was going to say.
Go ahead, do it again.
What I'm saying is like, if right now today we've got the grid, right? Everybody's pretty much set on any way that they break down the grid. If you've got a bird that you think is a high average position, or it's in green right now on the grid, obviously the talents are. But how are you gonna be able to take those 6 average positions, and is that talent going to make this bird now higher in certain distance of train?
That was the point that I remember they were talking about. Is there are situations where your bird has a better chance of your talent going off. So if you've chosen the right spot, or that bird is set up on the right spot, there are things that are added in there that could create that spot. So if you're already in the best in your best opportunity to maybe get a double to go off, and then you get the double to go off.
Double black hole.
So, but let me piggyback off that. So is that going to be maybe something to keep an eye on and say, hey, even though the grid doesn't show me to be very good at this, I had it go off 2 or 3 times. Maybe I'd want to go back to that distance and terrain again and try that out. If it goes off again, maybe you see what I'm saying? So that's going to be the interesting things from my perspective to keep. And will they
trigger? Like, does dig actually work better on something that is a diggable surface? Like, or is that
we saw dig? Well, yeah, that's true. This is just a video demonstration,
right?
Yeah,
but does it do better on dirt? Right.
Right.
I thought it can't work on
snow.
Track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it going to be every single time? I think someone asked that question, and I'm not sure it got a definitive answer. Is like moving walkway goes off. Is it 15 meters every time, or is there variance? So like, because there's a
question.
burst at the end of moving walkway, but for about 3 seconds once they get off the walkway. So if it is better because you picked the right race, then now now the strategy is really coming into it.
I think I'm going to piggyback off what Dave always says. I think they're going to make them set. The only thing I could see them randomizing would be maybe how they spit out those birds in Black Hole.
That's what I'd like to see, honestly. And they even say here, as I continue with the devlog here, you can see why Black Hole took so long, though it still isn't quite finished, as there are a couple extra effects they want to add to it, but functionality is working as intended. Now, here's why I'd love to see all birds just scattered all over the course and not go back. I mean, maybe they do go back to their original position, but I'd like to see
we didn't see the
dropped
front
in different spots. And here's why. Because if it's still a predetermined thing, those birds are still likely going to finish where they're intended to finish in the race when it was spit out. So it would only make it more dramatic for, say, the bird that was in first place that looked like it was going to run away with it gets dropped in back, and then all of a sudden it's just hell-bent from 20 meters on to catch up. Those finishes are what's exciting and what's going to bring people in and go, holy shit, that was electric. That was so much fun. Let's keep going. Right. That's what that's where I go with why I'd love to see how, like, just throw them all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm actually I've jumped back real quick because obviously we don't see the front anymore, but it's let me just see. Let's see. The green, purple, and pink are the three that are in the lead before they kick back to the angle, and then we can't see anymore. So let me just shoot to the podium real quick and see.
So chicken 9907 won.
9907 wins. King Purple is the next one. They're in second place, and then 8332 is in third place.
Did any of those have talents go off?
That's a better question.
Okay, let's rewind it.
Yep,
let's roll it. Run it back.
I'm rolling through right now. Okay, first dig talent. No, not a podium bird. Next talent is Kuber. That's the
Sarama.
pink.
That did not podium.
Did not podium. That's why they were in the lead.
Yeah, none of the birds that had their talent go off in this race podiumed.
Yeah,
but we do know that this race is not an actual talent race, right?
Also
it's
true.
Just video representation,
right?
Yeah, it's just a sample of things.
Yeah, they tailored this to set up. You could just see it by the fact that they kicked back to make sure they knew where the black hole was showing, and maybe that was done on purpose to not show. Because they're sensitive of the market and they know that they release stuff and it goes nuts. And if they go ahead and just show like a bird in fourth place have a black hole go off and then win by 15 meters, then that can affect the market. So maybe that was in their back pocket when they were thinking about it.
Black hole's already up, so it's not like it was too primed for getting pumped.
Yeah,
it was more primed for getting fudded than anything.
Right.
That's fair too.
So in other news, they've been working on some new layouts for the chicken details page. At the moment, it shows the chicken's data and race history, but soon they'll be adding customization to add or remove wearables, trade history, and more. Here are two of the early designs, and as you can see, that's a Sultan that has a pair of sunglasses on, though I hope that's not the finished product.
Yeah, it gets correlated a little bit better there.
I can Photoshop better
than losing mine right now.
I hope I'm not offending anyone by that.
Someone just got fired.
Josh, just don't care about someone's hard work. It's totally on brand for you.
You know me and my memes from way back. Anyways, so they've been also added a tweak to the chick races, and
great fix here.
So this is a great fix, and the reason being is they're really slow, and it sucks with new users coming in and try and do a chick race. It takes days sometimes to get through just 7 chick races. So they have added an adjustment that the two changes are as follows. All chick races will have their capacity reduced from 12 to 8 chickens. Big bump. Mm-hmm. Chick races will no longer be mandatory, and unraced chickens can race in any races of their pecking order.
I like that a lot because you can kind of use these 7 races a little bit more strategically now.
So the caveat against that is 8 birds versus 12 birds is statistically significant in its difference.
Yes.
Well, yeah. If
These are
these
no
show
longer-
up,
yes, as it's not
It's
a
not a great
true
sample for testing.
12 chicken race. Yes.
it also could pad some wins to a chicken. I mean, in the long run, what the 7 races won't be too much, but yeah.
Well, and the fact that there's so many cheap races right now,
Mhm.
honestly, there's 30-cent races that popped off, within the last week or so. But
so if the 7 races is about getting someone hooked, yes. If it was about discovery, I think that change to 8 birds actually hurts the discovery. But
Right.
I don't think 7 races is discovery anyhow. So
No, not at all.
No.
Yeah.
So, the unraced chickens still get their 7 free chick races, but will not have to do them before racing in a paid race. These changes will be coming soon, and they hope this makes things easier for new users. I do as well. That is all for this week's Dev Blog. Talents tomorrow, people. Now it's time to talk about talents. And
so
there's actually...
We're already I just have one quick thing I want to tie up from earlier. Simon Neal dropped this in the chat. We were wondering about if you're in a race already, are the talents just possibly going to show up? And it says race, and this is from Delhi. I was looking for it, and Simon Neal grabbed it for us. Race entry will be paused while we push the talents. Then all races that start after that, even if they were partially filled before, will have talents active. So they probably have to do this because we're not going to have a full day of talents. We're going to probably have, a couple hour window or something to get it started. So some people are going to get lucky and get some talents. And, if a big money one goes off, that a big money one goes off. And I guess that them's the breaks, but it seems like that's how we're running it for tomorrow.
Yeah. Before we get onto the talents, has there been any mention of the acts of God, or what were they calling those?
That seems to have just kind of gone away, hasn't it?
Or are we going to see those?
Well, we've seen a few things like this, where like Josh brought it up earlier in the chat, and everyone started actually sleuthing through the tutorial to see things, how like Jetpack was said at one point to burn up people in opposite lanes. Some of them were said to do that. It's kind of how Devo was said to bite left to right. And they just didn't like the way it synced up. They didn't think that it gave the proper advantage that some of these higher up uncommon rare talents have. So they made a change. So the acts of God may have been something that they've just originally thought might work, and maybe it's not going to work long term, but we haven't heard a thing about it since. It's basically gone radio silent on that.
I would like
Simon
to see.
Neal says in the chat, is the bonus BAWK an act of God?
Is that one of them? Yeah. Is that the
sleeping animation that we've yet to see implemented?
Right.
I would like to see some type of randomization aspect thrown in to where a little bit, maybe like a bear trap ends up in a lane or something, and your chicken gets caught up. Whatever. Just funny. Just some type of randomness to it beyond what we have, right? Because it would just add, I think it would add to it. Because I think once we reach a certain point, you're gonna know X bird with this talent on this track and terrain is gonna win. But if there was something that could interfere with that occasionally, I think it would just add more intrigue to it.
Do you want that to have a change on the actually? Do you want it to just be visual, or is that something that you actually want to be like you said, an act of God, something that flat out actually
just random
changes,
whatever, just like a lightning strike that comes down and just hits a random lane? Whatever.
Professor Falcon says God has bear traps. Why not? I mean, what doesn't God have? No, I think if they had a clever way of kind of moving that in and making it work, maybe they want to see just how this whole thing plays out first before they add anything like that.
So that's kind of what I've been saying. I think this is version 1 of these talents, right? I think a year from now, it's going to be interesting to see what the talents look like and what are they doing, like what effect they have versus now.
Right.
All right. So first off, if you're here, like, subscribe, hit that like button, all that other fun stuff.
Give us love.
We need it. The next thing is if you haven't done so yet, I believe this giveaway will end shortly after Talents. I believe it was supposed to end when Talents went live. I'm not sure what the exact ending time frame is, but the Chicken Derby Ambassadors program has put together a vote for your best or your favorite talent. And the fine gentleman over at the D3 crew threw this up and outlined each talent that is available in the game with a little video of each. And if you vote for your chicken, vote for your favorite talent, you are entered into the giveaway.
Yes.
And so we are going to start and go over all these talents, what they are, what they do, and show the video and talk about them. And we'll start off with the least favorite of all from the most FUD back in the day is the anvil at a high frequency. Where did this come from? Yeah, we don't know. Here's the thing that I want to know about anvils. When the chicken drops the anvil, does he run a lot faster? Because he just unfloated, like, how many pounds is iron?
Even if it's just a little boop, like a
little speed burst, little sprint.
Yeah. So
chicken's
on your tail and a weight slowing you down.
No, that's fair.
Pull
because
that anvil out of your pocket, pass it on to your competitor. So that's where I'm like, do you get a boost?
So here's something that I've kind of noticed, and I think I said this a little bit last week. We might as well get deeper into it now. Each through common, uncommon, rare, ultra rare, it does seem like there are several different ones that kind of line up that are staggered in that regard. And it's kind of like how you see anvil, it just drops something. And then when it goes to uncommon, it's blue egg and it drops something specific. And then it kind of moves on to, and then there's like
run any faster there.
No, but this is still just, the bare basics of it. But
Maybe
they do have things where it's kind of incremental, like each one incrementally gets a little bit stronger. Like you see helicopter where you have a little bit of a boost and you knock out 2 birds, whereas devolution, you have a big boost and you knock out 2 birds. So, or this is just, the basic evolution of anvil to cold snap, where you're not actually gaining any speed. You're just dropping it on someone's head.
Yeah, so anvil is the worst, folks at D.
Trying to make it better.
And
something has to be the worst.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Flight might be up there too.
Yeah. Ross had his thoughts on flight, which he just said flight looked ... bad. Yeah. Anyway,
the fine folks at D3 put all their thinking hats on and put all the wording from the tutorial right on this page. So I'm going to go back and forth. So there's anvil.
It's a devastating drop. There's that, but I mean,
you will smash one chicken,
and it hurts. Yeah, but that's
and
it.
Hopefully that was your closest rival, because you will smash it.
Blue. Oh yeah, we don't see where he actually gets jets, but it does get kind of like a jetpack feel there for a second when this chicken takes off. But this is a medium frequency blue rooster talent. I already have wings. Yes, he's a chicken. Feeling tired, low on energy. Drink a can of Blue Rooster energy drink to make you feel alert and alive for 6 seconds before your inevitable crash. 6 seconds. That's a long time in a race.
But then the crash.
That's true.
And as we see, and as once we get to Cooper, we see there's a new little touch up there from the last video. But yeah, I don't think in the actual preview video we see Blue Rooster fire off, but I think it fires off the screen, so we don't see what the crash looks like. So when Blue Rooster goes off, it's going to be, because I originally saw Blue Rooster and thought, wow, this is fantastic. I'm actually really happy. One of my best birds has Blue Rooster. But that crash could be real pain at the end, depending on where it goes off.
Is that where they get tired?
Just a note, just a quick note, because the text on here is not up to date with the tutorial, which has it at 4 seconds. Oh. So I guess in testing, 6 seconds was indeed too much.
Oh, yes, indeed. The tutorial does say 4 seconds. So maybe I do need to go back and forth.
Okay. Yeah, they've been making these little changes, and and that's the thing. They don't tell us that. Like, they don't tell us when they make these little changes. They just do it. And whoever's paying attention is grabbing them. So when they dropped all the frequencies, they didn't tell us. And people just found it.
Slid them in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chicken a pole.
Chicken a pole. And that does launch you to the front, I believe it says. Right?
No.
I mean, it's a big launch. Like, I remember when we first saw,
I guess the video shows you get launched to the front.
Yeah, when we first saw the preview of this in the race, it actually, people were like, was that Devo? Was that Jetpack? Because it was actually like floating through the air. Yeah, like it fired off, and we didn't actually see the catapult because it was off screen.
Right. So in the 14th century, as a cheap alternative to carrier pigeons, the chicken-a-pult was used to send important messages long distances quickly. Few chickens survive. The modern chicken-a-pult covers a much shorter range, but is 18% less fatal. Hilarious.
So does that mean that they could land and just like have a terrible time?
Roll an ankle.
So, yeah, it doesn't say it's 0% fatal.
It does not. No. And 18% is not a small percentage. So there's that.
I think with some of these descriptions, we have to pick apart what is kind of
jokes.
I don't know. Yeah.
Clever wording.
Yeah, exactly. See, versus actual.
It's tough because there are some things they put in there that it could very well come to fruition, and the other of it could just be tongue in cheek, having some fun. So yeah, it's tough.
So CK-47, I thought this was pretty cool. The chicken jumps up, starts shooting backwards. My question is if you're in the back, do you jump forward and start shooting, or do you just shoot forward? Because I thought there were two different animations to this.
Yes, it's not in the guide, but we've seen talk of kind of two animations where it fires forward and fires backwards. So I think hopefully it shoots where the most people are.
Yeah. So capable of firing 607.62 by 39 millimeter rounds per minute. The CK-47 is a weapon of choice for the modern chicken. Unleash a barrage of lead to slow down the competition. And Coober, this became a fan favorite real quick. Ride with Coober. When running late, Coober is the fast and cheap way to get where you need to go. Our Coober cars can pick you up from anywhere and drop you off somewhere else. And Coober's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the animation here. Well, but that's the thing. This here probably won't have it because they literally just dropped it in the video we just watched. Where
True.
Nope, is this the new one? That looks like the new one. Yep.
Doink.
So here we go. Awesome job by the guys at D3. This is a new part here where wall. So there is in fact a drop off. It's not quite that massive jump you thought it was, but it's still a nice hit for just a common talent.
Here's what I think about these talents. I wonder how many of these talents are going to go off at the end of races. So you know how CK-47 kind of jumps forward a little bit before it shoots everything? If that happens in the last 5 meters, is that going to make him win?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a coding freeze.
That's
on
what
like
I'm thinking.
No talents in the last 10 meters or something of that nature. So that they have to run through the line.
I wish there wasn't.
Fledge, I am actually more of a gun guy than you think.
Oh yeah, I was just typing in.
I've been shooting guns since I was like 7, 6.
Josh, tell me you're not a gun guy without telling me you're not a gun guy.
He's just bad at calibers.
Tell me you can't read without telling me you can't read, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was
He's too busy shooting.
He's a hunter, but he's also dyslexic, guys. Let's leave him alone. Shoot left.
Reading is not at the forefront of my repertoire. Yes.
Good thing that's one of your main roles on this show.
Yeah.
Yes, but Coober.
Back to Coober.
I do think this version we're seeing now, the second time we've seen it, they weakened it in terms of impact, which is probably the right move. It did not go as
far as it did in the first
video. It was overpowered for a common talent the first time we saw it. And I think it's probably wise that it looks a little less overpowered now.
Did it always crash into a wall is the question. Because I don't think it did in the first video.
We didn't see it.
We didn't see it, but I don't think it did because that bird had a massive lead.
That race was over just from that Coober.
Yeah, and now it hits a wall and jumps out, and he maybe gets 10 meters in the end. He goes from 9th place and jumps out maybe 5 meters in the front in the end of all of it.
Yeah, like that's still good. Like that's still
absolutely
a nice boost, like compared to some of the other common talents. Flight.
Yes, well, flight.
Anvil.
Here comes flight.
Here comes FUD.
I mean, we all kind of, I don't know. Flight was kind of like one you thought about, and you're like, wow, I wonder how they could actually make this
cool,
kind of cool.
But I don't even. This video almost makes it look like it goes faster. In the last video we watched, it did not look like it was going very fast.
No, it looked like it was struggling to stay airborne. It looked like
it was struggling to even pass any. They're taking notes and hating us now.
I mean, we'll see. They have time, and again, it's just a quick representation, so we'll see. But at the moment, if I'll be completely honest, I was looking at a 100 Lakenvelder, and I'm like, you know what? I am looking to spend a little bit more money on one more bird, and it said Anvil, and the other one said Flight. And I'm like, you know what? If either of those were like one of the boost talents, like Blue Rooster or Cooper, I think I would have pulled the trigger, but something just kept me away from that for some reason. I just don't love the idea of it, as you know.
It's the new Sleepy Eyes.
I like Sleepy.
It's more to me about what distance rather than the visual of how the bird flies or not.
So Wham brings up the point. I want to see what happens in actual races, and yes, we do too. But I gotta feel that this visual representation that we're seeing is probably going to be very similar to what we see in a live race.
I think
minus the actual mechanics of it happening.
I think there's a thing they could add to this that we kind of said at the beginning that would kind of give it a little boost to it, kind of make it more comical as well, as if it gave it a little roll at the end.
Yeah, and I think they did add that, didn't they? Did it roll in the last one? I thought it did at one point, or maybe it's Chicken a Pult where it crashes and.
So on that note, what I'm saying there, I think it really does matter. Like, let's see how these things play out. Let's not get too antsy and anxious as soon as one doesn't quite do what we hoped it would in the early going. This is going to be a little bit of a process to learn exactly.
But let's also spend an hour giving opinions on them.
People are selling my flight birds because of the animation.
Huh?
I'm not selling my flight birds because of the animation.
Right.
No, I'm not selling anything based on talents in the beta testing of talent.
But I'm also not buying it
because you could have one of the best consistent racers in the game, and have an Anvil talent, and you never know. It may still be continue to be one of the better consistent racers because maybe his Anvil comes out all the time.
Look, if you've got a consistent fourth place finisher that's got Anvil. Yeah.
Or you've got a bird that bosses the sprints where there's not going to be that many talents. So there's not going to be that much change. So your sprinter might still be
your sprinter with your one Anvil with a high chance of it going off. I mean, you still got a consistent bird in the end, I think, because I don't think talents are going to wreck it that much to where the consistency that people are finding with their chickens now, where they're like really good in certain areas, and I don't think that's going to change a ton.
Yeah.
But it might change to the point of, does your talent go off more often? Does your strategy? I'm curious now if I've got like chickens that I'll have to look in my coop because I didn't think about the high frequency talents in a short distance race. That would be a very much clutch thing to have.
So the chat does seem to like growth that we've had sitting up here for a minute now, as we talk about everything else but growth. But yeah, I like it too. I love the ground shaking. I hope there's more of that. I mean, I know they can't all have the fun animation of like the ground shaking on this one as it's going through, but it does seem like a nice talent again as far as a little boost goes. But it makes you wonder. A lot of these are just little boosts. So are these just different ways to show boosts, or is there a deeper application still of how to use these and when they're used? I mean, that's all stuff we'll have to learn as we see it.
Right. Machete talent, another really awesome one that they've updated a few times. Started out as a chicken running down the track waving its machete around, but now it just jumps up in a cool cutscene and slashes two chickens' heads, and they very much slow down, as you can see.
Yeah, that's a tough.
There's some. I look at these talents in two ways. Some are boosts and some affect others, right? And I think this is one of the ones where like you're going to be hoping that if you're up in the top pack that a machete comes out and knocks two of the chickens' heads off that you're running with. You know what I mean? So I think these
But
we're going to be rooting for
this
other
is
talents to come.
Here's my question: is Machete does it pick 2 random birds, or does it pick 2 birds that are near you?
Or is it based off of something to do with the different effects of the birds? The comb and wattle maybe this bird hits this particular type of bird and chops their head off.
Well, something on that note that's very important is in the tutorial, they're very clear. They said the things that will give you the advantages are, obviously there's some things we still have to learn, but knowing your bird and knowing the competition, knowing the other birds in the race. So actually stalking that part out and looking at it and saying, if you're looking, this may be your perfect distance and terrain, and maybe it's the actual location that you do best on. But if there's a whole bunch of high talents, and let's say it's a 100 dirt, but there's a bunch of high talents in there, and you have a low frequency, you might be setting yourself up for some disappointment. Or if you hit it, then you're probably going to be just fine. But there's all these little things they factor in.
On the point of kind of scouting out the race beforehand, I think that's the next step of what Chicken Derby should do is allow me to be able to click on specific birds in a race and then go straight to their stats, right? And see what that looks like, right?
Yeah, sure.
Then I can really
quickly dissect. Yeah.
Right. Without having, right now it's almost not even worth you can, but on some of the slower races, but man, it's a long process.
So here's the Rollerblades Talent. As you see, the bird skates up and does a pretty sick flip off of a quarter pipe.
Yeah, I think Professor Falcon said this in the last video. This one tumbles at the end. So they put the tumble at the end of this one, which was interesting once the rollerblades came off. I'd have to check that again, but I do think I remember seeing that.
I think that they could seamlessly add that same effect into the other couple traits. Again, I don't know if it gives
tumbles, I think.
I don't know if it gives them any extra boost with that tumble, but that would be something to add to that flight animation, I think. Spice it up a little bit.
Teleporter. And we see it in a race, it drops you forward. I know that this an early prototype from Dr. Droob, short-range teleporter, has the ability to instantly move a chicken up to 10 meters away. Funding was dropped when the teleporter was outperformed by a 12-year-old child with a cricket bat.
Now remember back to the original teleporter when it said it could move forwards or backwards, right? Isn't that what we read from the very first description?
It had a double animation possibility.
But here's what's weird about this. It says up to 10 meters away. It doesn't say 10 meters forward.
True.
But instantly move a chicken up to 10 meters
away.
Not your chicken, a chicken. So yeah.
So would that mean they would have to have 2 separate animations for that to happen?
And again, this may be because to me, I think the way that we would think of away would mean any direction.
Maybe not 2 separate
to them,
animations, I guess. Just drop
to them.
I'm double checking the right now just to make sure they didn't mess anything up, not change anything. Excuse me. Short range teleporter has the ability to instantly move a chicken up to 10 meters away. Nope, it's still exactly as it's written there in the current version of the tutorial. So
I think the original version was the one
that changed in the last year.
Yeah, the original one I think was the one that said it could be, but when it says 10 meters away,
well, it would be really funny to see like the chicken pull out the teleporter,
but would that totally fud those chickens? If you found out that 50% of the time or whatever
you set yourself backwards,
I would say it should send a different chicken back.
Yeah,
I think the big thing is like it hits the button and nothing happens. Maybe it hits it again and then another chicken goes off and then it's just like whatever. He throws it on his head like it's broken and he keep going. Meanwhile, another chicken was the one that got hit. Yeah.
When it lands, it teleports a different chicken.
So
he hits the button twice and then just chucks it.
I see. So what you're saying, so you know how I classified the 2 talents as a boost or that would be essentially one of
combo.
Each.
Yeah. A bit of a combo. Yeah. I kind of like that. It's interesting.
Yeah, I do too.
I hope it actually turns out to be that way.
So,
and here is the devastating
egg.
blue egg. Oof.
We're into
I'm a chicken.
uncommon.
I'm gonna win. A hen exclusive talent. The blue egg will chase the chicken that is in the lead and take them out in a devastating blast, similar to Mario's blue egg, or
Blue shell.
turtle shell.
Blue shell. Yeah, the blue turtle shell. Yeah.
Blue egg. Yeah. Automatically takes the first chicken out. Doesn't mean your chicken's gonna get a boost. As you can see, this one is also falling back to last place as it shat that egg out.
But and this video doesn't quite to show how just horrible it is, because it really, at least when we saw the blue egg, that thing fell off the screen.
That pain lasted a while.
All right. Sambo's saying that they did say all talents would be advantages to the user.
Right, but still, teleporting another chicken backwards 10 is still it's not that they won't teleport back. They're not going to give them.
Yeah, because dropping an anvil on your chicken doesn't advantage my chicken, other than it disadvantages your chicken.
But that does confirm. But what Sambo said there does confirm the fact that you won't go backwards by accident.
Right.
So it's nothing like that.
Right. But yes. So, and also Fledge asks, what happens when the first place lets off the blue egg, asking for bazooka.
Just don't do it, Fledge.
Could you get a blue egg in first place?
So
I guess you could if you got it and held it and managed to get.
That's the problem. Yeah, and
I think the egg should crack, and it leaves a slick yolk that slows the competitors down behind it.
It would go against what we just said, but it'd be funny if you nuked yourself.
Dave. Damn it.
Go ahead, Dave. Make it
I was saying it would go against what we just said to nuke yourself, but it would be
that
funny.
Is true. That is
no,
very
it wouldn't.
True,
it wouldn't nuke you. I'm saying if you're in first,
the egg breaks and the yolk is on the track like an oil slick.
Yeah, it would just affect everybody behind you, not
like
yourself.
Spy Hunter.
Yeah.
So it's worthy of bringing up.
Good future idea.
Obviously what we're seeing is just the visual representation. Even once we see the talents and they're put in properly, you're just seeing a visual representation of the data. So is it as simple as a blue egg chicken won't let off a talent if it's in first place?
Yeah. Well, I think
could be that simple. Yes.
Yeah. I think it pre-race algorithm kicks in. If the blue egg is the winner, unless it hits the first place at some point and takes first, that's probably going to happen, but I don't think it's going to be the bird in the lead. And
since in Mario Kart you can control it, then obviously there has to be repercussions for that. So yeah, you actually get hit, you get knocked off. There's repercussions for you deciding to use your talent in that regard at the wrong time. But in this regard, it is just not random, but an algorithm that is represented for us. So I do believe it'll just be the simplest thing. Just seems if you are set to have your blue egg talent go off, then you won't be in first place when it goes off, and maybe it is very much the reason why you end up going in first place.
Okay, so here's the dig talent, and I'm gonna go to the tutorial here because I want to read.
Fudge said I watched a 45-minute YouTube video documentary on the history of hitting yourself with a blue shell. That's commitment, my man. That's a perfect use.
It's something.
That's the perfect use of YouTube.
And your time.
Yes, excellent.
So the dig talent is a medium frequency. Chickens are not the flying type, as the tagline is. So on the D3 page, here's another talent that has something different than in the tutorial. They appear to have changed it yet again. A talent gained by training with moles for 4 years. Dig will have your chicken burrow through the ground to sneak up on the lead. On the D3 page, it says the chicken burrows underground, protecting itself. It then emerges, attacking another chicken. 80% power, 100% accuracy. I'm assuming that animation, as we've seen, the attacking, and they said with Devo and Machete, the animation probably just wasn't lining up with actual races being spit out and it looking up to what they want it to look like.
I think if they did that, that would make Dig more powerful than the others, because not only would it give you the boost, it would also give you the effect on the other bird.
What if the rocks flipped up from Dig and hit the chickens, like the orange and the green there?
But I
think
that
slows them down like CK-47.
That's still the same idea of like the jetpack going by and burning adjacent chickens.
You're right.
So that's
it's hard work to mess with other lanes.
Yeah.
They've kind of told us that.
So dig to
Stop
me
killing my dream.
It's
You're
not
looking
just
at it.
It's not just because this bird has dig, but dig to me was a little underwhelming when I first saw it, and still feels a little bit like, especially they almost seemingly go backwards for a second as they drop down to dig.
Yeah, when they jump up in the air, it looks like they just stop.
But it does seem to me, the more that I'm just processing it, is that a lot of these other ones like Blue Rooster and Cooper, they have or they have kind of a end where you kind of fail off. He doesn't end here. When he jumps off, it almost looks like he's just right back to boosting. So this is just a nice boost talent that doesn't have any type of hindrance at the end. So I guess that's how you kind of see the evolution of what makes this an uncommon talent opposed to why a common talent would kind of stop you at the end.
Yeah, it gives them a nice kick at the end of that tunnel.
Or I'm just coping with myself. I'm not sure.
The fan group talent is the next one. Chicken's number one forever. Flock of chicken crazed fans storm the track in a desperate attempt to get an autograph from their favorite racer. Your chicken will gain speed so to escape from the debauched devotees. Yes, as you see, the chicken kind of rears up and takes off running a little faster. I'm going to cross-reference this with the tutorial. Looks the same.
Yeah.
Thank you. This right here, I bet you they tweaked that because that doesn't look great.
No, well, let me ask you this too, because dig looked longer than that.
It sure did. Yeah, this is a nothing push, and it almost looks like they're kind of treadmilling in place. So I bet this is. I would make a gambling guy.
Well,
I would bet that this is something they adjusted a little.
There might be. Well, yeah, I think so too.
They didn't even go up 2 or 3 spaces in this video.
Look at the birds that are chasing him, though. They only come up to the pack. So the way they've got this animation set up, if that fan group is in 3rd place and it's in the middle of a pack, all those other birds are just going to get kind of mushed in there with, you see what I'm saying?
Trampled.
Yeah, but they're not doing anything. They can't do. They're just kind of animations.
I was baiting Dad to yell at me again about doing the cross lane.
So I think
look what lane they're all in. Look what lane they're all in. The same one.
Thank you.
Are they?
Yes, they're all running in your bird's lane. But I think this one needs to be a 4-second long type talent that we've seen with other ones. Because right now it looks like the birds are chasing you for about 2 seconds, which
that's about 4 seconds. From when he runs up, I was counting in my head there watching it. It's about 4. 1, 2.
Yeah, I mean,
well, then they need to go faster for those 4 seconds.
Yeah, the boost needs to be better. That's
7,
all. In this
about
regard.
7-8 seconds maybe. He was running like that.
This may be some of the part that they were saying that they're not 100% sold on just yet. They're good. They're satisfied with how it's showing so far, but maybe the end result isn't exactly. I don't know.
And I think they've been testing these all since we've seen these videos too.
Right.
Like we've seen, they're still iterating everything. And it might be like, you know what? Jetpack's more powerful than this. Fan group's got to be tuned up so that it kind of sits with its similar category.
Right.
And we'll see that.
Because if we think about Jetpack, Fan Group, and Dig, those are the boosting talents of the uncommon. And all 3 of them, there is no stop at the end. So that's what makes them a little bit better than a common talent. So I would imagine that this should look closer to like a Dig or Jetpack type acceleration, unless there's just something else there. And at the moment, that definitely wasn't a Dig or Jetpack type movement. Yes. So I think this video more than likely is going to get tweaked.
Yeah, and as the owner of several fan groups, I hope so.
The helicopter talent is next. As you see, the helicopter swoops in, chicken jumps up, grabs it, and launches 2 rockets in the air, and it carries you forward a little. I don't think this is the one where it pulls you forward just a little bit. You can see it's a couple meters there.
It's like a 5-meter gain, and that's okay. Yeah.
Well,
but you get a gain and to damage others.
Yeah.
So we're looking at it based off of distance. What if the algorithm is set to go up 4 spots?
Let's see. It goes up 1, 2,
or whatever.
Hits 1 chicken. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
You're right. I understand.
What if it's trying, and that, but we're looking at, it's got it, because if your bird's in back and dig is designed to take it up 2 spots, well, that dig is going to be a lot longer than the bird that's in fourth. You see what I'm saying? That we're kind of judging it based off of how
again
far...
you would need multiple variations of a talent,
right?
Of animation, that is.
Yeah.
So,
well, do you to have it go off for the distance?
Like if
Possibly,
Dig only
right?
goes off for 5 meters, that would require an animation that is 5 meters long, or an animation that is 15 meters long.
Yeah.
Right. So that would, you know what I'm saying? That would require more animated video that they would need to add to the game. And I don't know if they're doing that. Maybe that's the future goal, possibly, you know, to where we can get there. But for right now, I think it's just, you know, what we're seeing is what we're going to get right away.
Yeah, it's going to matter much more.
So if it is distance and like kind of what we're saying, then, I mean, the birds in the back, if their talents go off, it's probably not going to matter that much. If for the boost talents, if they're way far in the back,
again, it can affect
like, you know,
you
that
in the fact that you won't down class. So yeah. And that's the thing. You don't really want, in theory, your talent to go off and you win a race that you had no business winning, because that doesn't really help the game. Like, especially if it's one that
that's what's going to make it more difficult to figure out what your chickens are good at.
Right.
It's not all negative. It can't be all negative. You're gonna have you're gonna win because you're not gonna be able to figure a chicken out because it's so random.
Well, you're gonna have to watch, because if you end up in, you know, fourth, and you were in like 10th place when it went off, and it's like, well, I ended up in fourth. I was close to winning. Well, your talent went off, and if you were in a race that you were better positioned, you would have won that race. So yeah, it's going to make things more difficult.
Or in the 10th because I got blue egged.
And
right.
That's going to convolute the grids too, I think. I hope the guys over at D3 do allow us to do a freeze, like preset before talents and then an after talents grid that maybe we'll even carry over into it to where.
Yeah, well, we touched on that just a little bit. We didn't quite get to this point
where you can click it and have talents. Because I wanted to actually ask if we could get a filter that you could click and remove chick races, because I feel like that data is skewed.
But it's only 7 races, so once you have 20 more races on that particular distance and terrain, those 1 or 2.
Because
you can do that on the premium version when you just click the actual class that it's in. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Is chick on there?
No, but if you click B class, then obviously the chick races.
Yeah. No, but I would like to be able to filter out the chick races, just because, like, if you are going to buy a already raced chicken and say it's got a record of like 10, 5, and 4, and it just happened to podium in like 5 of its 7 chick races, that's skewed, in my opinion, a little. I
mean, both ways though.
I mean, those 5 podiums could have all been wins. I mean, and I don't know. I don't really.
Are the chick races
looking at my chick races,
easier or harder?
I don't really use them as a data point to go, I got first in this chick race.
The free races are just a mess. And
the free races, the chick races.
That's what I'm saying.
There's always going to be a ton of noise in your data.
Yeah,
talent is just going to bring more noise to your data.
That's where you have to go in and add more to that, more good data to that convoluted data. So
could you filter out the free races? That would be I would love that too, honestly. Free races, I've always been like,
I just mashed
people
the first bird I see.
Scrambling birds into those things.
Yeah.
I mean, if it happens to be like a 180 road and I've got Cheshire sitting there, of course I'm throwing them in it, but usually it doesn't end always.
I honestly wouldn't put too much stock in any bird that has less than 300 races ran. At the end of the day, I look at that as a bird that I'm going to have to discover regardless.
So how those 300 races are distributed as well. Like,
exactly.
If you pounded 100 of those on one thing, then you overused it. Yeah,
man. And I may look at that as, this might be a buy where I've got some wiggle room to where I can actually discover some things in a different way. So,
but just to pull us backwards for a second, the helicopter was another talent where the description has recently been changed. Okay. So what D3 had showing there is not what is in the tutorial anymore.
Chickens can fly with the aid of a C-22 Osprey. Your chicken will call down the metal bird that will safely airlift them forwards while firing off a couple of homing missiles to take out the opposition.
So it's interesting because if you look at the version that was in the D3 site, it actually talks about the helicopter taking you to the front of the pack. So they've removed that language from it.
Right.
And now it talks about taking you forward, but not necessarily to the front of anything.
Otherwise, I think I like,
and it
I
went
really
from
like
a homing missile to plural.
Right.
I think, yeah. So removing it from being forward to the front of the pack to adding a second missile.
Right.
So yeah, we saw jetpack there. That wasn't the full animation. I know we saw one. I'm pretty sure in one of the videos, the jetpack comes off and the chicken falls back to earth and tumbles. Cold snap. Getting into the rares finally.
Woo.
Home stretch. Cold snap's another good one. This talent goes off as it freezes. It pulls out the spell book, freezes the screen, and freezes 4 chickens running on the racetrack. I feel like I would like to see maybe some like kind of, if this is a rare talent, like maybe it freezes your chickens and you take off sprinting at that point, like the chicken, you start like actually running and charging.
Yeah,
I feel like it could use a little more there. Like, yes, while it does affect 4 chickens on the track, he doesn't really gain any ground there.
Right. So here's the way I look at this. Is kind of, so to me, anytime this goes off, there's 7 other chickens that benefit along with the person that has cold snap.
Right.
Just
that's
4 chickens.
Also a good point. I'd like to see your chicken at least get some kind of
here's my idea
there.
If you're doing it correctly, that means that you have put you're either, because that's another thing. When you downclass, you're going to have to really think about this and be like, wow, this is going to suck. I'm trying to downclass here and my talent goes off. But if you're trying to win and you're putting it in its proper terrain and distance, then they already should be in a better position to win. So when those 4 go off, I'll take a 4-shot chance of someone that's ahead of me or someone else that's there that like knock them back. So
but
if this has a boost too, it seems dangerous.
Devil's advocate a little bit.
You
got to think those other 7 birds that didn't get hit too. Their owners have put their bird in it to win too.
For sure.
Yeah. So again, that's why I say some of these talents, as long as you don't get hit, is actually going to be almost as big of a benefit as the one that went off.
Like I say, as soon as he chucks that book, it hunkers down and just starts bolting. And maybe
he should be sprinting right now
to the front, but yeah, it should be sprinting. I feel.
But doesn't that make it overpowered if he does that? Like,
it's a rare talent.
I understand, but it's hitting 4 birds.
How many is several? And how long are they frozen in their tracks will be a bit
right.
of
I mean, look at how much of an
right?
advantage, like look how far out in front Cooper gets you, or like we said, like jetpack throws you up 10 to 15 meters.
Yeah.
But this is the first attacking talent we've seen that really is hitting 4 birds, and several might include more than 4 on some occasions too, right?
Mm-hmm. That's a good thing. That's actually a good question to ask. Does it affect more than 4? Is there a random factor there that could it freeze more than 4?
They do not assign a number to it. So
that's interesting.
It's something to keep in mind as we see it happen tomorrow.
Because if it freezes the entire field off on an off chance other than you, then absolutely.
Well, that's what black hole does. I mean, essentially,
but then you also get a boost. So that's I think that's the idea.
Right,
that's the
black hole does
give
you a boost. I still want to see them scrambled.
That's the very rare talent.
Right, and also high frequency, so it goes off a lot. So it's basically a badass anvil, but it's 4 anvils is what it really is here. So and when you only have 3 rare talents, they had to kind of make it so it's like one's basically the greatest iteration of the anvil, and then devolution is the greatest iteration of like the helicopter, a boost with attacks, and then of course moving walkway is the greatest iteration of Cooper and Blue Rooster, where it just fires you forward and you keep going. So it's kind of they kind of worked those in together. So, and as we'll obviously jump to those now.
So Devo here, as they've changed it has 2 little raptor buddies jump in and tackle 2 chickens as you grow larger and get a boost at the end. See what I mean? Like that.
But was that boost talent built in, or was that the chicken that hit his boost at the time that his talent hit it?
Maybe
chicken, egg. Who knows?
Because to me, that boost, he did get a boost whenever he turned into the raptor itself because it took longer strides.
Because he's not boosted right now.
Boom! Look right there. Now he is.
Ground right now
He is. Boom!
Yeah, he is boosted. He is boosted out of it where
chickens.
he's running casually before it starts.
But then he does finish in a sprint. But he may have been due for a sprint. It's hard. It's hard to know until we
need to see that much more.
Those are the kind of things that I'm going to be looking for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But this is badass. I'd love to know.
Obviously
talent. There's a whole lot of ideas of like what the lizard eye does. We'll find out. I think Fledge said earlier that he thinks maybe the lizard eye and will like be able to like fight off the little raptors, that the baby chickens that come and get them, or does lizard eye actually make you? There's not many lizard eyes like this, but does it make you get a boost or more likely? Because they did say there are things in the game that are configured to make your talent go off more have a
because it
higher
gives your
chance of going
chicken
off,
the lizard eyes when it changes into Devo.
Does, yeah.
So here's what I want. If for our listeners tomorrow, if you see a race when some of these things that we mentioned, let us know. Like alien eyes. If you see an alien eyes get sucked into a black hole, then we know that's trash. But lizard
here's the
eye.
other thing. I did ask this question and it did not get answered. Are those traits and the effects of like the physical chicken traits like robot, etc., will they be implemented with talents? I did not get an answer with that.
Well, I think a no answer is a yes, right? So if those things are true, I think we're going to know pretty quickly.
It may also be a no answer because it's not ever happening.
Or it just may be a no answer because that's how Delhi operates.
Well, no, that's what I mean too. Yeah.
They don't want to say no because that's confirming something.
Right.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean
no, I'm not answering you, sir. Is more of what the silence is to me.
I think we're gonna know
Josh.
pretty quick. I think we're gonna know within what is this? They say they're gonna run this for an hour or 2 hours or however long.
Unsure. We'll see, yeah.
No idea.
Okay, well, I know I'm putting my robot in a race right away.
Yes.
Just to see what that
race
does.
your robots, race
I'm
your
running
lizard
Andromeda
eyes,
and everything tomorrow. Yeah.
It is safe to say that there will be people who watch every race that runs while talents
are my damn stripes gonna get a boost? Can I get a stripes?
Yeah,
boost?
what? That's the thing, man. Like two different things, two different ones. What the hell does classic do? What does stripes do? Like are
classic just looks good.
Are they breeding things? Like, yeah, we don't know. Yeah. We don't know.
Sorry, Jackie.
I want to know, what does a vampire and a classic do? What does Tyler's new striped Sultan with alien eyes do, other than kick ass in 50 races?
Yeah,
I feel like variance is going to hit you like a brick.
9, 4, and 2. No.
What do my American running shoes do that I won?
Nothing.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, guys.
Moving Walkway is the third and final rare talent here. As you see coming up, the walkway will pave its way in and your bird jumps on and it just coasts along. And right now I'm just staring at a gray screen. So that's
Can I answer the question to the tagline real quick? Because of rain. I'll leave it at that.
And in some countries that have real nice shopping malls, they have them there as well.
Oh, it's not going to work.
Trust us, guys. It's fantastic.
We're only in airports, guys. Trust me.
So on Moving Walkway, I mean, again, I'm trying not to confer myself too much on these things. I try very carefully to do that. I have grabbed a couple different moving walkways because for some reason they were because it's kind of a lame thing in comparison to Devo or Cold Snap.
Like, look at this.
But it's awesome. This is exactly what I thought it would be. And
look at that boost.
Fly. And it's a ridiculous boost. It's
right
like
at the
3
end.
Second. Yeah, it's like a 3
through
second
the finish line
boost.
is the crazy part, though.
I absolutely love what this
thing
can do.
Out of my chair watching my bird do this.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that there's maybe some talents that are able to go off at the end?
Well, here.
The walkway ends just at 10 meters, like just on the other side of it.
And I think Little Paula noticed that when they showed the royal procession, it was similar. Like it ended, it was done with 10. So I don't think these talents, and here's why I don't believe these talents can actually go through the finish line, because what we're going to see again with Black Hole, and we already saw earlier, what the hell happens if all the birds are in the black hole and everyone finishes?
Everyone else gets last.
They need to be.
They would finish as it got spit out.
Yeah, but I still feel like they need to be on. I know that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, but so they need to be on.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine all talents are wrapped up with at least 10 meters to go, but the after effects don't have to be like this one.
Do you think that goes for the first 10 meters as well?
Mm-hmm. Probably. We haven't seen anything happen that quickly yet.
They probably just took off and cut off the last 10 meters of the front and the back.
Mm-hmm.
And said, all right, here's our window for talents.
Black hole time.
Yeah, we haven't seen this at all, have we?
Again.
More black hole.
Again.
Sucked all the birds in. Again, it would just be so much fun to see these birds scattered all about and then watch the finish. Yes, please.
Especially if your bird's in the back and it gets scattered to the front.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Even if I don't win, just give me second.
Just one more thing from BAWK here. It said there were segments in the data at one time that would led me to think they can't go beyond the race finish. So I think that makes sense. They seem to end with 10 to go because, again, as you see, all these damn birds get sucked in. Like, what happens if they're trying to finish the race and they're all in there? So it can't be like that. So obviously,
you're not first, you're last.
Yeah.
I can't imagine black hole going off even at 20 meters because look how long it goes.
It needs some time.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Time. You're right.
Or like walkway, like those
45.
talents are going to go off early in a race.
Yeah, it might be coded that they have to resolve.
Not early, I guess, but like it has to happen by a certain point or it ain't happening.
It takes 20 meters definitively in that to get the whole thing off. So 30 is the absolute like last second, basically. If we're assuming there's a 10-meter cutoff, 30 meters is the last shot you have for maybe both of the ultra rare talents.
Yeah. Well, let's look at a royal procession here. You see the red carpet roll through and just carries you off. Again, I'd love to see all the birds bow, or at least some of the birds just stop and bow.
So that and moving walkway seem pretty much the same.
That's what I'm saying. There needs to be something that differentiates this from moving walkway.
Yeah, the badass horse.
But what does the horse do? What's its utility?
Can I clone it?
Own the horse? Can I own that horse?
No one. You can't own.
But is that a chicken-sized horse or a horse?
How much weth does that horse cost?
How big are these chickens?
Yeah. Underrated question.
Is that little Sebastian? Like tiny
no,
pony.
This talent, I feel like it should be a little more OP than what we have. But again, I'm judging a video that we haven't seen with it animated with the the logic.
You got to have that bird on the back dropping little droppings.
That's a Zed horse.
I've never seen horses run that didn't have shit coming out of the back. They got to have shit falling out of the back somewhere. No.
So
I'll take your word for it.
I was reading the chat. Sorry.
That. I was like, did you just say that? We need chickens slipping on shit. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, like that little back bird should drop a couple turds or something just to make it more
so improper.
I will say this to take us away from the feces.
What?
That I think it triggered an interesting discussion, like how. Like, should these talents be win buttons, basically, Black Hole and Royal Procession, because they're the rarest, and
they're only low. They are a low frequency talent.
Right.
So they are not going to go off as often as like the rare. Like that's the thing. Like Tyler and I were talking about this, and I'm sorry to bulldoze you here, but
no,
Tyler and I were talking about this a few weeks ago on how the rare talent, two of the rare talents have a high frequency, and they will go off at a higher rate. And I mean, Devo looks awesome, and it looks like it does give you a boost. You want that going off all the time. Cold Snap, that freezes 4 chickens.
5 meters.
I still wish it would give you a little boost, but those are going off at a high rate. Whereas like these lower frequency talents, they should feel a little more beefy, I think.
Yeah.
And Black Hole, should they be an auto win? I don't think it should be an auto win every time, but I think you should have a really good probability of hitting a podium if this talent goes off.
Yeah, and I think that's where I fall. Because they're low frequency, they should have noticeably the largest impact of any talent.
Right.
I guess the better question is this: how much of an impact should they have on your average position finish? So should this take an average 7th place to where they're finishing 3s and 2s consistently? Or is it going to take a 4th place to 3s and 2s?
Well, I guess
like where do we want these talents to be? You see what I'm saying though? Like,
yeah,
how I think that's where we see a talent's aggressive or not. Or,
I think the other thing to think about too is the ratio of what, how often does your talent go off? Is it 1 in 10 races, 5 in 10 races? What's the frequency to the high to low range, right? Like, what is it? Is it 1 or 2 times your 1 in 10 races, you're going to have a black hole go off.
Well, here's the thing.
Like, the high frequencies is going to be like 7 out of 10.
I have just noticed it's taken me a long ass time, but my one black hole does quite well on 100 dirt. I'm finally figuring that out for it. And I'm like, black hole on 100. Okay. I see the benefits there. It's a short race. And when that hits, see you later. Those birds are screwed. But if it's at low frequency, then I don't have a lot of opportunity for that thing to go off during 100 meters.
Well, and if it doesn't go off by 50 meters, it's probably not going off.
Yeah. Well,
and if only 2 talents are going off in the race.
Right.
Well, on that note, I did just get the DM from Fledge as promised, where he found a moving walkway that was very close to the end. And I sent it to you, Josh, in your DMs. I'm not sure if you can get it up there right now. You can try it if you can, but it does. The moving walkway basically goes directly to about 7 meters. And they're still very much in the boost when they go over the finish line. So it ends, it rolls out, and it's actually I'm going to drop this in the
I got it.
Coop, you got it as well. You can throw it up there. I can throw it in the Coop Collective Discord in the Nugget spot too. But yeah, this thing finishes the walkway about I would say about 3 meters.
Yeah, it came out at 20, huh?
Yeah. So here it is.
Like 22 or 23 meters, you see that walkway roll out.
Yeah. And bang, just runs right over the finish line with about 7 to go. This in the Discord when this was thrown out, the question was, what do you guys think is the best underrated talent from Silk Republic? And Deli posted this video, which is howtowin.webm. So I mean,
classic Deli.
But that's a moving walkway has been absolutely one of my favorite talents that I've seen since we've seen all of them. It's just made me think like
Devo and walkway are up there in my book too.
Yeah.
Yes, not financial advice, but
but I'm happy to.
I would be shopping the rare talents over the ultra rare just because of where they are currently in the pricing structure as well.
Yeah. Just look at my wallet. I've been fighting Devos and moving walkways because of that. I just have always thought that. But yeah, you're right. You're very right. Right now, the rare talent floor has been creeping now that we're towards the end and getting closer. The hold market today and the last couple of days has been alive again, which is nice to see. There aren't, I think at one point today, after I bought a 96 classic Devo Sultan, and after I bought that, there wasn't a 96 for cheaper than like 0.4. So these floors are still ultra thin, although people could just throw them out there. We have seen a lot of people actually listing birds again now that we're getting close again. But the rare talent floor is very much juicy in comparative to the ultra rare. I agree completely with Dave. Not financial advice, of course, but that's just what is right there for anyone to see.
Yeah, I've loaded up on a couple rare talents. That's what I've been looking for lately, trying to get the coop rounded out. Got the I think my favorite that I'm excited about, like think of the combos. Like when we finally figure out like what these traits do with chickens, like think of a robot with cold snap, which happens to be the chicken that I own. That could be awesome. Like the only reason I bring that up is to bring up this point. The ratios of chickens that have rare talents and have cosmetic traits like that are few and far between. Also, chickens that have rare talents or ultra rare talents, there are not very many of them that are of the 98, 99, or 100 quality. And there aren't very many Sultans or Saramas up there in that group. They're mostly Lacks and Dorks.
Yeah, well, this is
riddle me this, Batman. Why?
Well, you're checking every box for racing and breeding. If you got that rare talent, that high perfection, that desirable cosmetic, and that desirable heritage, like,
so this is on. The last 2 birds that I've purchased this week. Was the first one was before last week's show, was the Sultan striped alien moving walkway 91. But when I looked up later, there's only 3 birds that have stripes, a different eye, and rare talents, and it's 1 dork, 1 lack, 1 Sultan, and they're all under 95. It's like 93, 92, 91. And then just now, when I looked up, after I got the Devo Classic Sultan, again, there isn't a Sarama Classic Devo. You know, so it's like they understood they can't make these things just unstoppable
and to
forces.
Your point, and back to the robots, there are 5 robots in the game that have a rare or ultra rare talent.
Yeah,
and none of them are Sultans or Saramas. None. And then you go further, and the black chicken, there are only 14 that have a rare, and there are some rare that there is a Sarama that has a Devo that is black. I don't think any of the robots, there's no Saramas. I don't think there's a single Sultan robot.
I'm checking that real quick. I thought I saw something that was, there was 1 chicken that's just, it's a Sarama, and it might just be 100. I'm going to double check real quick and see what I saw here.
There's the 100 robot. The number no, not that one.
There's something else. I'll find it. Go ahead.
Oh.
See what I was looking up exactly here to see. I think there's just 1 bird that's just that stands out as just an absolute.
Well, it's a lack. There's a rare robot lack that's 100, and Poseidon Racing owns it. Lucky fella.
Good taste.
Good taste. Yeah, he's got good taste.
Yeah, you're right. No 100s. Yeah,
it's a 100 Lackenvelder with like moving walkway or something like that.
Yeah, that's it. It's the you're right. That's I think that's what I saw. Yeah, it's a 100 Lakenvelder robot with moving walkway. You're right. Yeah, there isn't even a Sultan that's 100 with rare. Right.
Mm-hmm. That's a robot anyway. Well, yeah.
Correct,
no,
correct.
Is there 100 rare?
Sultan? I did black on that one. I did 100. Oh, just 100 rare. Oh yeah, there's got to be that. I'll take out the. You said just a 1 second, I'm doing it now.
100 with rare or ultra rare?
Yeah,
not many.
Well, no. Sultans and Saramas though is the question. I know there's 100.
Yeah, no, I don't believe so.
There's 100 rares.
Doing it now
because there was 100 lack on the market that had a rare talent just the other day.
Checking. There are 6 total rare, ultra rare 100s. Oh boy, that's it. There is 1. Oh boy. Okay, it's dork, lack, no Sultan, and then chicken 4.
Chicken 4
is in fact from Pump My Bags 100 Sarama Royal Procession.
Whew.
That is the one. Yes.
Metaverse is 100 Sultan moving walkway.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're ultra rare though.
Right? Ultra rare, correct. Yes. I was only doing ultra rare there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Metaverse,
but there probably aren't very many 100 rares in the Sultan or Sarama camp either.
I'm right here, so I might as well. This is the full tinfoil talent episode, so I'm here for it. There are 37 100s that are rare talent. Let's just
still
out of 33,000
exactly.
And as far as Sultan and Sarama, there are 6. There are 1, 2. Memory reset, you dick. Yeah, of course, yeah. Metaverse, memory reset, and then Chicken 2066, and then oh boy, so Chicken 20, Chicken 23, which is a Cherry Dusk, and then maybe the only one that is more than the Royal Procession number 4, Chicken 6, is the striped Cherry Dusk, which is 0.02% because there's only 5 of them, and this one is a 100 Cold Snap.
Yeah,
woof. Good luck.
But that's the thing that like why have so few of those upper heritages with the higher perfections have a rare talent if it's not to not make them so massively overpowered that they're an auto win button?
Not to get into the maths too deeply, but you're combining a rare with an ultra rare with another thing that's rare, and like the odds are just so low of the generating of chickens, kicking them out. The fact that even some of those actually, like we saw the one didn't even exist in a Sultan. Like that's not surprising because
there's a couple of that combos like that there is no Sultan. Like the classic vampire, there's a Dorking, 2 Lax, and a Sarama. There are no Sultans. That's kind of some weird things like that.
Yeah.
I also noticed there are, what was it, Tyler? We were talking about classics the other day, and there's like 30 less roosters in the classics.
Yeah, for whatever reason. Yeah,
but also
like
there are
137 roosters, I think, something like that.
I have a rooster.
The robots and black chickens are set up like that as well, though. There's only 3 black Sarama rooster compared to 8.
Yeah.
And then like with the robots, I was looking at robot
there were some weird
There's
breakdowns.
Like 3 rooster robot sultans, and the rest are hens. 17 hens to 3 roosters.
There was only
where you find your market edge.
When I was looking for alien stripe sultans, there's only one other, and it's a breeding partner. So yeah, it's crazy the way that they've really put that together. And Fledge got upset with me for not naming my chicken on the air because he was upset because he actually liked it. He was like, "She has a name. It's Andromeda." Yes, it is. I named it Andromeda, and he was like, "Oh, damn you! I want that name." It was like the first time that he actually had a name that I made that he wanted. So screw you, Fledge. It's mine.
With the Heritage Sultan Coleman Waddle. There is a classic with the teal though. Which
wait, say that again.
Sharp.
There's no what?
There are no classic Sultans with the Heritage Gold Coleman Waddle. Or
that would look horrible.
Would it though?
I don't know. Maybe not.
There is yellow in the classic a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe it wouldn't look horrible. Yeah.
I don't think it would pop though, but it's not going to look horrible.
I like the blue.
Orange and black. I don't know. Like blue.
He hates the blue. I love I don't know what it is. I love the blue on the
orange
classic.
And black look pretty clean. Pink looks kind of sharp with the right eye combo. But
the black looks really good. I will say,
guys, breeding is in a few months.
Sorry, this is talents. This is talents. Yeah.
Or a year.
Is this like Christmas where if we don't go to bed, we don't get talents?
It'll be some Sunday. We'll be breeding. Okay, some
talents
Sunday.
Tomorrow.
Talents.
Yes.
So, if you want a chance at a chicken from the Chicken Derby ambassadors of once again, D3 has put together that lovely website where there's a tweet that we put out at Cock Talk Derby. We can jump in. You have to vote. You have to vote on the site to be registered. That is the number one qualifier. So we'll check it with the D3 guys to see exactly how they did that and exactly how they want to stop it. Maybe as soon as that first race goes off, that's when it ends. And that's just that's it. It's finished right there. But yeah, if you want to get in, that's our and we have some other cool ones coming too. Josh, I know we were talking about, I don't know how much we wanted to drop about the big one that we have out there, but I guess we could say it's going to be a racing centered giveaway, right?
Yes. Oh, you're talking about the bigger ambassadors giveaway?
The bigger ambassadors
that
one,
we probably shouldn't be teasing yet, but we are teasing anyway.
We're just teasing it. We're not saying anything yet. We're just saying.
But yeah, the idea was to race some chooks to get in on that. So yeah, we might be once we get this one wrapped up, we'll
talk about that one soon enough.
And check out Sambo's music video.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yes.
Perfect segue, because I do have to spin the wheel on that one to give away that chicken. And yes, Sambo put together a ridiculously funny video of what was it? It was a Smash Mouth
Rockstar
song
by Smash Mouth.
Yeah. He mixed it up with chickens. This was funny. There was a one line there that he paused that horse that literally made me crack up. And I'm getting a quick wheel. Fledge's giveaways have all been for the people that have really, decided I'm going to try. Everyone that's going to win a Fledge giveaway is someone who isn't just passing by on the internet and click something in. It's someone who actually had to try. And this week you had to sing a chicken song or sing like a chicken. And Fledge actually shows up in this video. Spoiler alert. But yes. So in this time he selected 4 of the people that really came through. And of course, again, there are 2 people on this list that are on the ambassadors list. And if they win, we spin again, and Fledge takes care of that situation as he always does.
So why not just take their names off?
Because he wants to give them a chicken too. So don't worry.
Oh, I gotcha.
Fledge knows what he's doing. He's a great.
I missed that part. I didn't know that there was an additional chook on the line there.
So you too could win.
So yes, so I have the 4 names here. I just need to steal this from you, Josh. Sorry, I forgot to tell you about having to steal it.
Just bulldozing the screen.
Last time I stole it, things went awry. But I think we'll be okay. Damn it.
Okay, take it.
I'm trying.
Take it now.
I'm trying.
All right, that's the end of the show. Goodbye.
I gotta go to
Goodbye.
bed. Come on, Tyler.
No.
What? Rip.
We have a winner.
No, it's screwing with me. His name wasn't even on there yet. That's the second time. You know what? I might have to fix that, because that's the second time that's happened to him. Okay, do I have the screen now? Are we good to go?
Yeah, you're live, bro.
All right, live. You're live, bro.
Spin the wheel.
He's spinning the wheel. Let's see who gets the chicken. Come on, give it to him. So I don't have to do it. So I don't have to do it.
Stop. No whammies.
Stop it. Thank you. All right.
Another Coop to add to that.
I have no idea if it showed up on the stream, but
it did.
Okay, cool. Because he won the other one that accidentally showed up on the stream, and he didn't actually win it because it was a mistake. So I'm very happy that this time Young Protus will be getting this. Josh, I'm shooting it back to you now.
Oh.
Get it off of me.
Stick the landing.
So congrats to Young POTUS. That works out very well.
Congrats, bud.
Lemon Amnesia in the chat, of course, as always. I'm happy this actually worked out. He goes, again, bro, you hate me. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm really glad. I am not kidding. If he didn't win that, I was going to send him one of my chickens. I felt terrible. I was just like, this is ridiculous. I've done this to him twice now.
Man, I hate to see
falling
that.
Apart, guys.
Stick the landing for him.
So we've been on for an hour and a half. We've had enough of your time. I'm ready for bed. I know that. I'm tired. So talents tomorrow, fam.
Talents.
Get in them races. Talents are live tomorrow. Hopefully for longer than we anticipate, but I'm expecting for a couple hours probably.
I was gonna say
I'd be happy if we get tomorrow.
An hour. Me too.
Like
I'm waiting for those early beta vibes where the real race is getting into the race.
I'm waiting for.
And then the FUD starts. I couldn't even get into one. It was like impossible. Fast internet wins again.
That was a weird impression. What was that? Actually, let's just end the show.
On that note,
see that was the point where you should have yelled at me again for making fun of our listeners, because you've
don't tell me what to do.
Hey, we still have barns for sale, and they're real cheap too. Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah, we welcome the Chig from
Barns are cheap.
Hey, and those
tools last week. Yep.
Next talent contest for Fudge starts tomorrow.
Little bit of a discount on our last little contest we about to finish up if we could get this finals done.
Yeah, we got our finals of the Express Challenge finally wrapping up. We got hit with a whole bunch of different things, weddings and racing outages, but be damned, we got it to the end. So
we got some solutions though.
Chickens come first.
Yeah, we got Wally versus JSD going off for
Key
the
match.
Final there.
Just gonna call him that.
Yeah. Wally should have finished tonight, but he is off at a casino, being a true degen, as we all know Wally to be. We love you.
You can race chickens from a casino.
All right, so I'm getting confirmation in the chat here. This sucks it's at the end. I wish I had it earlier. Crazy J, thanks. The talent contest that the Ambassadors program is putting on, that is being hosted on the D3 website, will end tomorrow when they pause to add talents. So
perfect.
Get your votes in, get the retweets in, get all that stuff in so you get yourself qualified. So you can win yourself a chook from the Ambassador program. We are the Coop Collective. we're calling it quits. We can't wait for Talents tomorrow. We'll see you on the tracks. I am at Grateful Coops. I have at MBF Express and Wada Wada Racing and Pecking Order Racing. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
With Talents.